Hang on.
All right, folks, we're here for the last match of the 2022 Mary Graham All-Stars. This is the Tier 1 Championship. We're going to give away some hardware. Kicking us off will be Capital, and receiving is Midwest. Midwest is in the green and white, and Capital is in the blue. Super excited for this match. I'm Wendy Young on the comms, and I've got Josh Kingdahl with me. All right, it's a long driving kick, and I was just visited by Kristen McFerrin also. Coming over, but we're okay, we're okay. All right, Midwest is taken well, going backwards a little bit there. High tackle. We'll see if we have some advantage. Dishing it out to a forward pack for Midwest. Now we're going to have a little boot on it, making the fullback turn and chase. That's Salinas. Having to go back really good. Very well-placed kick. Defender there. One step. Now the return kick. This one's going to go straight out. Our referee for this match in the center is Rebecca Portlock. She's supported by AR's Ross Davies and Joe Meyer. What do you think, Josh?
I think this is going to turn out to be a great game. It seems like the Midwest needs to settle down a little bit. They might be a little bit nervous. A couple of those passes were a little errant, had a little more pepper on them than was necessary. Might lead to some issues, but I think they'll be able to settle down here in about 5 minutes. These are both really great teams, really well coached. Hopefully, looking forward to a good match.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some nerves here. These teams have been in Tier 1 since the beginning, but never in the championship match. So very exciting things. Very good off the top. Good distribution by scrum half Lauren Schleil of Wisconsin Women. She's going to get it out to Jones. A little bit of a drop pass there, but able to keep it, Midwest. Oh, it is deemed as a knock-on. We'll have our first scrum of the match to Capital.
Looks like the Capital defense was just extra aggressive on that phase right there and was really in the face of these Midwest players, causing some chaos and maybe, again, just not letting this Midwest team settle into their groove and get set and run the game that they'd like to run.
Yeah, and both of these sides very dominant yesterday. We got to watch them play. Midwest Green and the very first match defeated the TRU, and then Capital defeating Pacific Northwest in an epic comeback. If you haven't watched that game, you need to go back and watch all of our uploads. All right, for the feed here. Going to have a reset.
That was just kicked directly back out of the channel right there, immediately on the feed.
All right, here we go. We're going to have this feed by Capital. Definitely saw very strong scrummaging on both sides yesterday. It's a nice straight down the line. Going to be picked up out of the back by Love. She's fighting for it. That's not Love. Yesterday it was Love. Love must be wearing a different jersey. It might not match our handwritten roster. Apologize for that. Very nice half break, but stolen by Midwest. Great turnover. They are dangerous on transition ball. Going to go ahead and dish that one out to Wittenberger. Takes two to get her down. Loose ball. Going to be jumped on. Still with Midwest. We're going to jam it back. And then just lost forward there. A little bit hectic.
Yeah, both these teams are being very aggressive at the breakdown. You see the Midwest with that immediate poach right there, but then also Capital able to cause some disruption with their counter-rucking. Really impressed. Let's see if they can keep this up. We're only 4 minutes into this match, but already very well contested on all fronts.
You're right, and throughout the day we've seen a lot of teams not rucking, so that zero ruck and then fading out to the defense, so kind of fun to see a little bit more physicality at the rucks. We've seen physicality throughout the whole match, but specifically at the breakdowns. We have Schaefer with the put-in again for Capital. Big shove by Midwest, just immediately putting them under pressure. They're going to turn this over. They do. And then their eight-person picking it up. That's Schaffenberger. She offloads to the flanker. Anderson. Nice run there. Oh, errant pass. Just into touch.
Loose forwards really working together great on that phase right there. Just able to take the ball. It seemed like there was a little bit of miscommunication about who was supposed to pick and go, but then they were able to sort it out with some great handling. And then, unfortunately, just knocked forward right there with that last pass. So we're going to have a capital put in here.
Yeah, they've gone backwards on these last couple scrums. Midwest really so far has the upper hand with the weight and the power. It's looking like we'll have to see how the 8-person for Capital can keep pulling this out. Going to just reset again. Referee Portlock just making sure everything in there is what she wants to see. Flatbacks, same height, binds up high.
So no, we're only about 5 minutes in, but how do you think this one's going to go?
This is a tough one. We've been saying all day that they're going to be really tight matches, and they've honestly been a little bit one-sided, but I think this is really going to be the one that is going to be very tightly contested. Very talented teams. Big shove there, again under pressure, Capital, and then that pass just between the legs of the fly half of Lindstrom. She's able to gather it, no knock on, and able to drive it up a couple of meters. And they're going to go right. They're going to change directions. None of them are wearing the right jerseys. That's Savage with the carry there.
And that was just a really great reverse of direction right there. Heads-up play by the scrum half there, noticing that Midwest was overextending themselves in defense to the right.
A little bit of a bobble on the attempt to catch there by Riviera, but she gathers it in, is going to go for a gallant run across the pitch. A poach attempt was there, but not coming. Going to keep it going to the right. A little bit of a I think Jones meant for that to go a bit farther down the pitch to build some territory, but line out.
There's a little bit of a strategic slow retreat on the northwest side there as the ball was scraping across to the side. Not purposely getting in the way, but not doing the Capital players any favors to make way for their defensive attack there.
So Curvin will have this throw in. Actually, I think this is Restrup. It's going to throw this in for Capital. Curvin is very tall. Restrup, a little bit shorter stature. There's Curvin. She's the jumper. Oh, she's dropped. Oochie, that hurts.
A little slow to get up, but it looks like she's going to be all right.
We'll bring it out and have a scrum to Midwest. This is very good positioning. Shield will put this into the scrum. We've definitely seen them pushing Capital around. They may not push as much when they're on offense. We'll see. And we've got our 12, 13, 15 stacked in the back lines. We'll see what magic they've got up their sleeves. They're going to go weak first. Nope, they changed it. 12 was the dummy, 13 through the hole, all the way out to Ryer. Can't quite handle it. So another knock on, just some butterfly fingers today for Midwest.
Looked like a little bit of a miscommunication. She turned to her left and was looking to offload to a support player that did not exist. I don't know if maybe that was just a failure on the loop all the way around to the outside, or maybe just out of position a bit there.
I apologize for butterfly fingers. That's a new phrase. I meant butterfingers.
Not butterfly kisses.
Yeah, or butterfly kisses. Yeah. Oh my. So Midwest, if they can get some of their timing and their butterfly fingers together, we've really got some trouble on our hands, I think, for Capital.
And notice the 8 deciding to bind in on the right side of the scrum, not directly
Look
in between
at that.
the back line.
That power. Turned again the head. Beautiful inside line by Ainen. And they're going to keep it going to the right, the fly half. Jones screaming for it, but they get the penalty first.
Looked like that was in from the side.
Going to slow it down. Midwest takes some points. What a scrum that was.
I would say this is an interesting decision here to go for points. I think they've definitely got Capital on the back foot. I would, trust those big forwards that they've got working so far and try to push this one in. But then again, I'm a running prop, and I'm always looking for anybody to break some tackles and make the gain line.
I mean, we could look at the 2021 Rugby World Cup where England decided to go for the line, and then it was stolen and they lost by 3 points. Maybe we take the points always.
I'm here for rugby, not soccer. No kicking.
And that kick is going to go over, and Midwest will go up 3-0.
Not in favor of it, but I can say that was a great kick. Perfectly on target.
Doesn't have to look pretty, just has to go over the bar, right? But I think you're right. The momentum appears to be with Midwest for this last couple phases. Capital is having ball time, but is getting beat at the set piece currently.
And there's always that little bit of anxiety that being beaten in the scrum kind of adds to you. It's just that little extra pressure on your backs and everyone to have perfect hands, because just the slightest handling error can be a massive turnover.
Kick is a little bit deeper this time. Well taken by Midwest. That's Tillman. Poach attempt. Cleared out, though. A very nice clear out. It's going to go out to the fly half. Jones, who dishes off to a forward. I believe that's Bravo from the Chicago Lions. And then all the way out. We saw this yesterday where we had lots of forwards in the back line for Midwest. It's a good mixture of pace and power. What a wonderful kick this is by Midwest. Going to get us a bunch of ground. Almost a 50-22 by Jones.
Wow, just really clearing that and really putting the pressure back on the Capital Rugby team here. You know, I'm really curious to see if they're going to go with a full line out, or, you know, maybe go with a 5-person and try to get those forwards involved in the back line. Try to get them out there either in a pod or looping around. It seems like getting the ball side to side all day today has been one of the best moves strategically that we've seen from any offenses playing today. Yeah,
lots of wing tries, and lots of the conversion kickers having to kick from the corner for sure today. Long overarching throw. It's going to be deemed as not straight, I believe. And scrum chosen by Midwest.
That guy's cool.
It's really loud.
I'll go ahead and say that. Excellent choice here for the Midwest to come back to the scrum. Looks like they've got the 8 lining up in between the locks this time. We'll see how that affects their attack phase here.
And they definitely dominated the scrum set piece so far in this match. Again, referee Portlock just standing them up. Something not what she's wanting to see in that scrum. She's going to the other side, so may have gotten some AR feedback from Ross Davies as well. Schleil will put this in.
Ross Davies, definitely a veteran of the front row shenanigans. He knows where to look for him.
Going to pull this one out of the back this time. Jones giving it to the inside center. The wing inserting. It's Allen.
We've got a high tackle by the Capital 15. Not really too terrible. Just kind of it looked like she almost lost her footing as she went in for the tackle, and just unfortunate contact there.
And Midwest is content to kind of slow this down. Put it into touch for the line out. We will typically see the bread and butter of Midwest is a maul. We'll have to see. They did a bit yesterday. They're fiver, though.
They only elected for 5. They're going to go deep. Take it down. You called it with the maul. And wow, just quickly out the side. Looking to capitalize on this position. They're going to get this ball out to Strong running forward.
That's Tillman. Big crashing run, and then out to the backs. Nice slicing run there by both centers. That's Allen and Fish. And then getting it out to Riviera. who's in the corner. It's tight over there, but it looks like they're just maybe 3, 4, 5 meters out from the flag. And then they're going to use those big forwards, try to push this in. Here they come. This is Wittenberger. Looks like the try is going to be given.
And if we go back, a lot of those meters were gained because the Capital defense was shooting up too early and then found themselves out of position, basically in a trailing position, almost as if they were support players for the offense. And then, just the Midwest players able to kick it into high gear and, create some separation, and that's how they're able to get the ball out wide when they originally didn't have an advantage with numbers out there.
I think this is Megan Ayan of Fort Wayne with the conversion. We'll double check when her back turns here. Still can't tell. Could be 11 also. Whoever makes the Midwest jerseys would love if they were not gold numbers. Makes it very difficult. But the kick is good. It's over.
That was 6.
Number 6, the flanker, Esther Anderson, the captain of Chicago United with that conversion. So that brings us Midwest 10, Capital 0.
As we are about 16 minutes into this game. Really the story of this game so far being that the Midwest forwards are really imposing their will and chipping away slowly, getting great field position.
It's a deep kick again, picked up by the captain, Anderson. And they're going to keep that attack going to the right. Nice little step and go by Schleal.
It was a great defensive tackle right there, right off the corner of that ruck.
And then back out to the forward pod, beating 1-2 defenders. And then they're going to change that direction.
They've got numbers wide left if they can get the ball there.
Counter ruck coming from Capital. Nice little foot to it. There's only the fullback is back. She does well to handle it, though. That's Roane. Poach attempt is there. And it's given by the referee. Beautiful poach. That's Claire of the Twin City Amazons. Doesn't hurt to have a couple WPL players on your roster.
No, I would not. I would absolutely not object to any of them playing on my roster. Solid players all around.
And Midwest going to go back to what they do good, set pieces. They're experts here. Throwing in Emily of the Metropolitan Falcons. Again with the short line. They're going to go off the top again. Ooh, offsides there. Definitely offsides. Could be looking at some penalty trouble here by Capital. But picked up by Urbano. Another penalty. They're not going to be 10. So Midwest can't go quick twice here, though. But really heads up. Play.
Now, again, just the Midwest go into their bread and butter so far with that maul. Just pushing off the backside of that line out. They're really taking advantage of the numbers there because Capital's putting their 3 jumpers right up towards the front trying to defend the easy ball there, and then Midwest just throwing it right over the side, and then they've already got a 3-on-1 right when they bring it down.
Yeah, and they're driving just long enough to hold everybody in and then peeling also. All right, so this is a pretty good position for Midwest. Big shove there already, and they're going to get this ball back with no problem. Capital coming off really quick on those flankers, but these dangerous Midwest backs. Slicing run by the inside center there, Aiden, and then she's able to offload it to the fullback who touches it down. That's Riviera.
19 minutes in, and it really seems like Midwest has found their stride, and they know their positioning well. That cohesion is really, really starting to show here. they're able to get their support players right where they need to be. They know where they need to be, and they're able to execute.
And the captain, Anderson, going to attempt the conversion. And it's through. That'll bring us to Midwest Green 17, Capital 0. Earlier yesterday, we did see Capital going 19-0 against Pacific. They were losing, and then at halftime came out and scored 31 points. Can they do it again?
Yeah, that was an amazing rally yesterday. They were able to put it all together, make some great halftime adjustments, and come out firing on all cylinders. They were able to really put the pressure on, and they definitely deserve to be here in this game, no doubt about it. Let's see if they can put it back together.
Deeper kick again. Anderson's been running it up the last couple times, but this time she dishes it. The 13's going to go through untouched. That's Fish. Still on her feet, still running over the 50-meter line. Finally, double tackle to take her down. Referee thinking about calling that one for the tackler not rolling, but going with it. That's Jones with a nice little pooch kick over the top. There's nobody at home. Finally, Ruthie gets there, but then has to clear, and it's going to be a really short kick.
Yeah, it's unfortunate she didn't have quite enough time to line up and get that kick to really land exactly where she wanted it to be. Just a lot of defenders in her face, and lucky really to get it away at that point and not have any Midwest hands on it as it was coming out.
Really heads up, really smart play by Raven Jones of Cincinnati Celts to kick there. They're all up in the line and then just puts them under immediate pressure at Capital. So same setup. We've got our 5-person. They're going to go middle pod this time. And off the top and straight out to the forwards. A little bit of a miscue there. Knock on. Saved by the knock on. Capital scrum.
I'm really curious to see how this plays out for Capital, because it seems like they've got half of their pack is different from what they started with yesterday. Lots of substitutions, lots of moving around in this team, so see if those strategic choices pan out here.
We did see yesterday some sub up from some of the teams, so not that you ever want to start, a lower side or anything like that, but can be very strategic about it. But under pressure again, Capital, and then they're not able to get this clearing kick right away. It finally does come, but it looks like maybe a forward pass happened first.
Really just unfortunate right there. It's hard to pick that ball up as the number 9 as that scrum is getting pushed backwards, just creating lots of chaos back there and confusion. But this is 2 80-minute halves, so we'll see if the Midwest pack can keep up that kind of pressure, see what kind of energy reserves they have, and see if they continue to apply that pressure to Capital here.
So this scrum is a milkshake scrum for my old team. If we pushed it in, we all got ice cream. So let's see if they're going to push it in. They've got the power. Nope, they choose to pick it. And it's stolen by Capital. It was loose. I think that was Ruthie of Capital. And now just fighting for it, getting every meter they can. It's Capital. Going to go out to their backs. I think that's Salinas. They're going to change directions. We didn't see Capital kick very much yesterday. Hobbs can kick, but we didn't see it very often. Penalty. Saved by the penalty.
Both of these teams are doing a really great job in supporting in their rucks, and it seems like they're tending to capture that tackling player in the ruck more often than not. Sometimes they're not making an active, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not making they're not actively trying to retreat out of that ruck and getting caught sometimes, called for the penalty.
Penalty doesn't make it to touch, so some really deft passing there between Anderson and Klyle to keep that in. And then out to a couple of forwards stacked in the back line. And then Capitals really pulling the defense over now. Let's see if they can stop them. They look like they got set up just in time. But this pressure from Midwest is unrelenting at this point. It's quick ball, and it's happening in their face all the time, Capital. Scrum half was involved in that, so we've got Jones coming in to play the 9. Big tackle. And then they're going to change directions. It's out to Jones again. And then she's offloading to the hooker, Geluso. Ooh, pressure coming from Capital now. Midwest keeping it, though, using their feet to keep it out of their hands. Oh, what a fend that was. That's the hooker, Geluso again. And then out to the right. Beautiful. Off the shoulder ball to Allen. I believe it's Allen who scored that.
And a quick note to point out that a lot of the times this Capital rugby team, what they're doing is the defenders are actually getting in a great position to tackle, and they're making excellent first contact. They just tend to stop the leg drive there, and it seems like a lot of them are slipping down, and that's down to the ankles, and that's where this Midwest team is able to gain a couple extra meters. And it's not for being out of place or anything like that. It's just hard to absorb that contact a lot of times, and really kudos to the Midwest forwards and their backs for being able to continue and apply that pressure when they have the ball in hand.
25 minutes gone in this first half. Anderson will attempt the conversion. It's going to be short. And we'll see what Capital can do off this kickoff.
The body language on these Capital players is still very, very positive. They know very well that they are still in this game. Very capable of a second half takeover. They just need to keep their composure. You can see a couple of them making the hand signs that we just need to settle down and settle into our own game. They might be able to turn the tides here.
Sticking with that deep kick. It's going to Anderson almost every time. And then she's offloading again to her inside center. It's like repeat here, Ainen. And then all the way out to the speedy wings. That's Allen. Beating one. Finally taken down. They're going to go quick here, though. They're not going to wait. Here they come. Midwest Capital's not quite set up. Wavy line in defense. And they're going to keep this pressure, this immense pressure. This is Jones. Fancies to go herself. Little chip kick. Maybe kicked it a little bit farther than she meant to. Capital's going to touch it down first. This will be a goal line dropout. Nice to see Jones have a little run there, huh?
Yeah, that was very nice right there. And then it looked like she didn't even do an entire dummy, but just a head fake, and was able to get a defender to bite on that one and cut back inside.
So Capital moving that ball. You can really essentially kick anywhere along the line. So Ruthie, it's going to be a bouncing drop kick grubber straight into the hands of Fishy, who's just smashing through that defensive line. Beats one. Finally taken down. They're going to go to the right here. They've got it stacked. It's Jones. Out to Ainen, who's going to touch down.
Oh, she might have lost it there at the end, but no.
This will be a bigger comeback if Capital's able to do it. We still got 12 minutes to go in this half.
Yeah, Capital definitely needs to do something to get the defense back in shape, because the Midwest, the entire team, it just seems like they're feeding off of this energy, and the confidence is building. You can see it, like there's a little amount of swagger as they're walking back, but then they're very, very confident with ball in hand. They're not backing down from anything, and they just seem to be moving the ball at will, but able to put it where they want.
We do have to. This is a tournament, so it's 2 80-minute matches over the weekend. It is quite a bit. You normally would only do this at a national championship or maybe a your local union championships. So I wonder if fitness is key here as well. But Anderson able to convert. So bringing the score to 29 to 0.
It was 31 unanswered points yesterday, correct?
It was 19 at first, but they were losing by 19. But yes, they brought 31 back.
31,
yeah,
so
we're not there yet. You're right.
Right.
We're close.
Still within the realm of a thunderous comeback. They've done it before.
And changing the kicker, and this one goes a bit short. So assuming we'll have a scrum to Midwest. So another miscue by Capital.
That's just unfortunate. There's not a lot of wind out here today, unlike yesterday.
So we've got almost split backs for Midwest. There's a bit more on this side, but we do have the fullback has gone over to the right. They do like to pick off the back of this scrum.
Looks like the 8 is in the center of the scrum as well.
Yep, they are going to go for the little flip. Portlock almost got brought into that play, and then all the way out to the fullback, Riviera. She's running with some green grass in front of her. Looks for that offload, but decides to hold it. They're going to come to this forward pack. A little bit of pick and go from the base. And then now out to Jones, who's got a lock running off her shoulder. It's Tillman. She's still going. Capital looking to counter-ruck this one. Looks like it has been stolen. This is Jackson on the run. And now they're going to first go right and then go left. They look to kick, but Midwest was in their face. Looks like they may go to the left now. Penalty, not rolling away.
And a lot of those meters that were gained over there from the quick takeoff of the scrum, it seems like Midwest was able to rearrange their backs and able to get their inside center outside against the Pacific, or against the Capital wing there, and just try to capitalize on that size mismatch.
And that's a good kick there, getting them out of their immediate pressure zone. Looks like we may be having some substitutions for the Midwest. Grace Hode coming on for Midwest, and then Brittany White. So some early substitutions, possibly feeling comfortable with those 29 points. So coming off for Midwest, Rebecca Tillman.
That's 12.
And also Megan Ayen.
Megan was the outside center that was able to gain a lot of those meters, but she did get a little shook up on the second tackle there. I say it looks like she might have gotten a pretty intense dead leg.
And Capital also subbing Coco. Huge impact yesterday when she came on. So this is some good news.
Yes, her presence was absolutely felt yesterday.
Looks like Curvin may be coming off. We'll confirm that number when she turns around. All right, the match restarting with the scrum. Penalty. Looks like to be boring. They're going to go quick. Riviera out to Jones, out to some fresh legs. This is White. And they're going to keep this going to the left. Jones again. Anderson. Oh, we've got a whistle. I thought I was hearing a whistle.
Yeah, I thought I did too.
And the cricket doesn't have whistle. Oh, it's a whistle, but it's way over there.
Yeah, so Capital was able to get some movement on that scrum.
They took it quick behind. She was still talking to the blue players.
Oh, I see. A penalty was just taken behind the referee, and they're wired into their ARs, and so the AR let her know. So not through the mark.
But yes, Capital able to get some movement on that last scrum, which they have not been able to through the majority of this game. Hopefully some of these substitutions will move in their favor and try to level the playing ground here.
So penalty out the back. So this one will come all the way back up. Technically you can choose a 22, but most teams will choose the scrum up option from where it was kicked. So this should be a Capital scrum. Unless they're choosing the 22-meter drop, which is very interesting. They have been getting pushed around in the scrum. So this is Rowan. We'll do the restart. It's a big booming kick all the way across the 50, but taken well by Clyer. She offloads to Riviera. Counter ruck coming from Capital. It's all right. Schleal is out. And then it's a high pass by Christensen, but Jones was able to pick it up, so no knock. And then a nice run by Urbano, breaking tackles. And then out to the right to continue the attack. Jones with forwards off her hip. Like we've been saying, Midwest just really in control of this match. All the time, all the ball, all the territory, all the things. Don't make Jeff laugh. He's supposed to be talking right now.
Yeah, really, it seems like both teams are a little bit out of sorts on that couple of phases right there. Hopefully they can tighten it back up, and Capital can get some momentum moving right here in the last 3 minutes of this first half. Maybe even knock on the door, get a quick break, and put some points on the board going into halftime.
So they'll have a new jumper here because Curvin has gone out, so we'll see who they throw up in the air. Looks like it's going to be 21.
And that was taken quickly by Midwest, straight through the hands of both jumpers.
That's Savage now is the jumper, but Midwest on the take now. Tall, strong, running those knees. Wouldn't want to feel those. Out to Jones. To Fishy. And then out to Riviera again. Nice fend, able to beat the first defender, but then still on her feet. And then out to Jones again. Nice offload there by Wittenberger. Some of these fresh legs really making an impact for Midwest already. Big dummy runner. She came from a long way away.
I don't think anybody bid on it.
It's Schraenberger. Nobody bid on it, but it was there. And then they're still going to keep it to the right. They've got major numbers here. It's a 4-on-2. Capital, good defense, though. Jones on the loop. She's brought down. And then they're going to go right back to their forward pack. They may have lost this. Let's see. Capital. Yes. It's a good steal by Capital.
Yeah, Capital defense just able to stop the bleeding right there. You know, Midwest was definitely knocking on the door there, and they were able to repel them and garner that penalty right there. So hopefully they can gain some ground with this kick. No, they're going to quick tap and go.
Yep, they're going to put it into the hands of Coco. Who gets them all the way to the 22-meter line. Another penalty. Not rolling again, Midwest.
Yeah, it seems like Coco met the Midwest defensive line exactly where they're sitting at the 10-meter mark, and I don't blame them. I would not enjoy tackling Coco with a full head of steam there.
Definitely not. And then the pass, just errant, but kicked. So I think we'll have a scrum here to Midwest. 2 minutes to go in this half. That's what we were saying.
So this will be the test right here. We'll see if the Capital replacements can make a difference in this scrum and maybe get the momentum turned around. The Midwest 8 lining up in the center once again. Should say binding in the center.
Yes. And then we're going to actually see a pass off the back to Jones. Inside switch to those fresh legs. That's White.
Well defended, though.
And now to Jones again. Clearly the linchpin of this team is Jones. To Clayer. Errant pass. Anderson having to pick it up and run around a few players. Penalty, though. I'm going to say obstruction. Yes.
Odd choice to play advantage on that one, though. I figure you would blow that one dead immediately. There's nothing.
Might just be that, I'm not sure. AR comes on and tells me, so I feel confirmed.
Yeah.
So they had said last play, so I think Capital wanting to get some points, going to play out of their own end. Brave, gutsy. Coco on the carry. And then out to the left to Hobbs. All the way out to the edge. England still going. Big tackle by White. Smash. Stolen. But I think we've had a whistle in there somewhere. Maybe a penalty, or we're having a chat now with Becca's going to go talk to Ross. Maybe they're going to chat, so. Not sure what they're talking about here. Typically when these chats happen, it is for foul play, is what we'll normally see.
But really, there's a great couple of phases there from Capital running the ball out of their own try line there. You could tell that one player got the quick break and then ran out of gas, but immediately had the support player to offload to.
Going to the pocket. Could this be the White tackle that she's going to call White over? She is. What color? Yellow. I think it's yellow. So it's a yellow card for White for a dangerous tackle. So then it'll be a penalty to Capital.
This will be interesting. So, again, that was coming off of the last play of the half, so a new last play we're being granted here.
Yeah, some momentum swing potentially here. Capital's gotten a lot of benefit of a couple penalties. That one's up by Jackson. Good run by Jackson, getting them all the way to the 50 almost. And then out to Hobbs, to Coco. She's held up, though. Anderson's got her hands on it, but then she's able to get down. And then out to Johnson, I believe. That's Johnson. Midwest stole. And now we'll turn over the attack. Jones comes in at the scrum half position again. Big, strong running by Urbano. And Midwest content to look for some points here. No, Jones is now going to kick it out so we can go to halftime. Will that yellow card make a big difference, you think, for Capital?
I think it will, going in with 10 minutes into the second half here. Capital able to do their most work in the second half. Just like to point out that was some stellar defense there by Nicole Fish, the 13 from Midwest there. She made two great tackles and then was able to poach that ball for that turnover just relentlessly in the face of the Capital attacking players, making a huge difference there.
We'll be back in a bit, but Midwest Green well in hand for now, 29-0 over Capital. second half of the last match of the 2022 Mary Graham All-Stars in this Tier 1 championship. Who's going to take home this trophy? We've been talking about it all game. Midwest clearly in the lead here, 29-0. But yesterday, Capital scored 31 points unanswered to win their match yesterday. So can they do it again? We're all waiting to see. The anticipation is killing us. Jones is going to start this match off. It's into the hands of Jackson, excuse me.
Big sack.
And then they're going to go out to the right. Coco. Wrist strip. A little bit messy ball. Ruthie had to clean it up. Nice little breakthrough for Hobbs. And into the hands of D. Pass coming, a little bit of a slow ball for Capital. And then just a forward pass there. A little bit better from Capital, though. Looking a little more organized.
Definitely. Hopefully they can capitalize here on the remaining 8 minutes on this yellow card. But you can tell that it seems like they had a little calming chat there at the half. You notice the Midwest defense is not quite in their face. I think that's something they've taken into account, seeing a little bit more depth on their backs and anyone that's in an attacking position. Let's see how these scrums hold up.
Yeah, Midwest has definitely had a very strong set piece, both in the line out and the scrum. Been able to push Capital around a little bit. So this one's steady, and they pick it up out of the back. And looks like we may have had some substitutions at the half. I think that's Brittany Reyes is in for Midwest. Capital in there trying to counter-ruck this. They're not able to get through, though. They go to the left. There's not much defense. There's green grass. Get it out to the wing. Ooh, try saving tackle possibly there, but an offload. And then Capital stealing. Going to work it out of their own end now. And it's stolen right back by Midwest, but penalty, not stolen legally.
Yeah, so it looks like Reyes was able to grab a lot of meters there. She was just able to split two defenders that were both going in for a tackle there. It seems like they might have felt each other and both said, oh, you've got this, and rolled away at the same time.
Nice kick by D to get him a little bit of breathing room. So now line out just outside their own 40.
Let's see if Capital can capitalize on this momentum here.
You have said capitalize a lot.
That's the first time I've noticed.
You realized?
I just realized it, yeah. So unintentional puns from here on, they are unintentional. They are intentional.
Fair enough. To the front pod, but there's a hand in there. Looks like maybe knocked on. So scrum to Midwest.
Really what I'm looking forward to is a Capital prop to score. So I can say Capital 1, she's in the try zone and in your wallet.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Dallin Stanford. It has to happen now. Come on, Tubbs.
Will it into existence. I'll just drop the mic and walk away. I'll be done for the day. It can't get better from there.
All right, here we go. Let's see if last couple times we've been going straight off the base for Midwest. Gonna have a free kick here. So early push would be my guess by Midwest.
Yeah, referee with her back to us can't see the hand signals there.
Gonna tap this one. Try to gain some ground, Capital.
Looks like Midwest
stolen, yep. Able to roll her over and steal that ball. But forward pass.
Yeah, hopefully Capital can fix their binds, fix whatever's going on over there, and really push through and gain some momentum here. They look like they're poised to attack over here to the left. Maybe we can take advantage of the additional player.
Schaefer off the base to D. Out to Riviera.
Great loop.
It's beautiful. Nice play by Capital here. This is the most we've seen out of them, but a smashing tackle by Bauer. But straight back into the hands of Capital. That's Savage with a really savage run. Helping you. Is that a good one?
That was great. Couldn't have done better myself. I'm proud of you.
And then Anderson just sealing the back of this ruck, and Schaefer will go off the base to D with a little chip kick over the top. There's nobody at home. Oh, wow! I believe that's Riviera.
It's amazing to catch that in stride, but defense just right there on her as soon as the ball hit her hands.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It was well executed. The timing on the defense was just impeccable. Otherwise, that was try time.
Yeah, she could have been gone, just, a little deft step if she could have, but, just that immediate interface, it's tough to work around that. Still got the yellow card advantage for Capital. Feels really bad because she's sitting right here and we're speaking about her. That's right, she has glitter on and a smile, so she's happy. But nice kick there to clear and get a little space for Midwest.
3 minutes remaining on that yellow card, by the way.
Looks like substitution for Midwest. Maria Bashikov coming in from Chicago North Shore. Looks like Urbano's going to come off. Has had a great match, some really big carries. Line out's going to be not straight.
Wow.
No wind. Just
no wind.
Yeah, errant throw. So Capital's going to choose a scrum. We saw them avoiding that early on in the half.
Hopefully they can get a good push here. Try to really take advantage of the remaining 2 minutes on that yellow card. But as I've said a couple times, they came back from scored 31 yesterday in the second half.
They did, but they did it really fast. They've got to keep the ball out of Midwest's hands, and they're under pressure here, but able to pick it up out of the back is Savage. Going to go out and give it to Ruthie on the edge. Midwest scrambling in a little bit of defense. See if it can go quick. We did see this last time. They started picking from the base yesterday. Capital, that's how they started the attack. Penalty, though, against Midwest.
Yeah, it looked like that Midwest player just was trying to play the ball and might have been just a little bit outside of the gate on that one. Just not a solid setup and went for the ball, got a little greedy.
Little tap to a forward. Got a Midwest player there in the way. Going to give it to Jackson. Takes a couple players to get her down. And then out to D. Nice little dummy. Riviera on the slot.
Dangerous pass out of
Stolen. I think it was maybe stolen there by Midwest. Yep. Going to get it out to the edge. She's quick. Scored a bunch yesterday. That's Riviera. Still on her feet. Still going. Breaking tackles. Finally brought down by Capital. Slow ball. Going to get it out to Royce, who's all alone. But then support comes. Capital really having to play a bunch of defense here. Out to Jones. A good step there. Beats one, beats two. What a try that is.
And 10 minutes into the second half, yeah, it just seems like Capital was playing some really strong defense there, really trying to sell out once they've gotten into their own 22 and trying to really stop the bleeding, but that might take an energy toll here, and it seems like they weren't able to keep up that level of intensity, and just a couple Midwest players able to squeak through, and then didn't have much work to do as far as avoiding defensive players, and really kind of an easy score once they got over there.
Yeah, and now we see Jones is coming off for Midwest, and we had Emma Johnson come on, and Brittany White back on for the yellow card, and then it looks like we're going to have a couple Capital subs as well. Sharifa Love coming on, and then I apologize, there's 2 blank jerseys, and I'm not sure which one is coming on, so it could be Michelle or it could be Sarah. I think it's Michelle Reyes. I think we saw her yesterday.
The ball has fallen off the tee. If it does again, she's going to have to drop goal.
With the obscure laws. Josh.
Yes, remember, I hate kicking.
So you know all the laws.
Of course, except 50-22.
I was going to say, what's a 50-22? Tell me.
Witchcraft, that's what it is.
Kick is out to the right.
So that'll bring our score to 34 Midwest, 0 to Capital, and that can only mean one thing, that today's comeback will be greater than yesterday's.
So Jackson coming off for Capital, as well as Schaefer. So starting to see those subs coming on. They did this yesterday. They subbed up yesterday, so we'll see what's up their sleeves. Deep kick. It's going to go almost over the head of Midwest. And just a knock on there. So this is really good position for Capital.
It was the plan all along to pin them deep right there, right in the second half. This is the foundation of the comeback, I believe.
Isn't it? It's like Eddie Jones on social media. They've been like, he's holding back for the 2023 World Cup. Maybe Capital's holding back for the 70th minute.
Well, honestly, if you've got the size advantage or the size disadvantage, and the other team's just running you over like that, if you can run them out of steam and then try to come back in that last 20 minutes, as long as you can keep it manageable. I've heard of worse ideas, is all I'm saying.
This would be nail-biting stuff if it happens. They're going to pick off the base. It's Love.
Capital with a solid scrum there, though. They're definitely showing some improvement as the game goes on.
And then out to Coco. They've sucked in a few defenders to D. And then, a nice looping play. We're starting to see this happening more with Gilmore. It's unlucky, though. Another little knock-on.
That's bad. I think the Capital attackers there, they just saw the green grass, got a little ahead of themselves, didn't secure the pass. Otherwise, everything else there looked really great. I really feel like they're just on the brink of knocking one loose here, getting some points on the board, and really shifting some momentum.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think what we're seeing is, just getting a little more continuity, but the momentum hasn't quite shifted, but at any moment I think the ball could bounce any direction like it usually does.
That's because you're doing a good job of being an unbiased commentator, and I am a true believer that this Capital team is going to come back and hoist that trophy.
Okay, this is in response to some of the comments where people are saying we're biased, and it's just interesting because there's no TRU teams here, so I'm not sure how we can be biased. I guess maybe you just pick your horse at the beginning, and we'll see.
I go with the cooler jerseys.
What a scrum by Capital. We have not seen them push them all day, and they just shoved them backwards, but it comes out of the side for Midwest, picked up by Bravo. She offloads to Anderson. And then they're on to the attack. Midwest, the Thunderbirds. Capital flooding right with their defense. It's all the way out to White. It's off her hand, but it's backwards to Royce. Still on her feet. She's been a big impact since coming on. Ooh, big tackle there by D. Causes the ball to go backwards. Pretty far. Midwest able to pick it up, though. The wind kicking up. Penalty against Capital. Hands in.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to that scrum. Capital putting a lot of pressure on the Midwest, and they weren't able to get the ball out cleanly. And then I'd like to point out that the number 6 over here on Capital, my favorite nickname that I've heard all weekend, Scrappy, able to chase down the 8 and make the tackle. Corn being a close second for favorite nickname.
Yeah, it was in the game before this, right?
Yes.
A nice clearing kick for Midwest. Starting to see those sparks from Capital, so we just need to have them fully light the match right now. I feel like we're just seeing little tiny tinders, and we need to get this match lit.
Yes, and a little ominous and foreboding. The wind is starting to kick up, and whose favor is it blowing in? None other than Capitals.
It is. So Midwest going to go to second pod here, it looks. Capital late on the jump, and they're going to drive this one. So far, not stopped. Still going. 10 meters, 15 meters. Now Capital getting in there and slowing it down. And then they're pulling it out, Schaefer. Some big contact. To the nice, deft running there. That's Fish, I believe. Could be the winger. Could be 14, actually. I think that's Allen with the try there. Just some individual talent there.
Yeah, that was great. They had just 2 passes out wide quickly, and then she was able to identify that the defenders were overcommitted with their scrapes, scraping across. They had their hips turned, and just a quick step inside, and she was able to create some separation, then hit the Jets and on through.
So while we wait for this conversion attempt, we'll chat a little bit about the 2023 Mary Graham All-Stars. So we will be on the same weekend. So it'll be the first weekend of December, and we hope that everybody that is here will return. And then we're thinking of expanding the tournament. We have a lot of interest from other GU All-Star teams, so we've got to confirm all those teams. But we're thinking of expanding the tournament a bit, go possibly to 2 fields and such. But we'll keep you in the loop. If you're one of those teams that's at home, one of those GUs that's at home that's interested, please reach out to the TRU. We're wanting to grow this tournament, and as one of the only tournaments in the United States for high-performance rugby, we're happy to have everybody and anybody come.
And that conversion is good, which will just add more points to the Midwest's lead here. But definitely a lot more action in the second half than the first half. Definitely doesn't seem like it's the same 2 teams playing at the moment.
Yeah, it was all Midwest, everything, and now we're seeing Capital starting to push them around in the scrum, starting to have a little bit more of a spark in their open play. Let's see if they can keep it going off of this restart. We've got Ruthie on the restart here. She's been driving them deep, and she does the same, but well taken by Midwest. Looking for that offload, but not tackled, so she keeps going. All the way back up to the 50. And then wow, finding a nice little seam is Roy's. Still on her feet. Poacher's in. He's going to get cleaned out. So we'll keep this going to the right. It's to White, but a bouncing ball picked up by Riviera. Capital. A little bit isolated. Now her friends show up. Gilmore with the ruck. Ooh, 50-50 ball there. Who's going to come up with this one? Looks like a knock on first, though. So Capital scrum deep in their own end.
Yeah, really exciting ball over here on the near sideline, I should say. The Capital wing finally able to get a clean pass and able to collect it and get on the front foot. Really a shame that we can't see a nice long sprint there. But definitely Capital starting to put more and more of the pieces together, able to steal the balls and be competitive at the breakdown where they need to be. Let's see how they do in the scrum.
Midwest pressuring them immediately, but offsides is going to be the call. So Capital getting a little bit of a break there. Scrum half was really excited to try to go get that.
Yeah, she was all smiles and giggles running out to cover this kick. She knew she was right there when she needed to be, just mistimed it a little bit.
Yeah, just ride that line, right? Maybe you get the call, maybe you don't. Capital just taking their time, choosing now to pass that. Letting Rays have a little bit of a run. And then to Love. She's tough to tackle. We saw her carry a bunch yesterday. And then out to D. To Gilmore. Big tackle by White. And then changing directions. Coco on the run. Ooh, loose ball, but it's all, yeah, it was knocked on. I thought, might have not seen that one, blinked.
Yeah, White with a giant tackle. I heard that one all the way over here on the sidelines. You know, this Midwest defense is not afraid of contact. You're hearing a lot of big hits, especially with these Capital players that have a full head of steam. You know, there's no rodeo over here. No one's trying to olay anybody. It's just straight up shoulders to hips, trying to drive the ball carrier to the ground. And still, even late into this match, you're seeing a lot of jackal attempts going for the poach.
Couple of substitutions for Capital. Sydney Johnson of Roanoke coming off as Scrappy. And then the second blank jersey, so it could be Sarah or Dina, coming on for Capital. Coming off is Gilmore. It's had a really physical match in the centers, both on defense and attack.
Gilmore was definitely a shining star in the game yesterday. I remember her having some really impactful carries as well. And, oh, no, she was phenomenal on defense as well.
Yeah, she's a tough cookie.
Yes.
All right, we'll see what Gibbons going to put this into the scrum. And we do have most of the backs on the left side.
Even the 8-man binding on the left side.
Big Capital shove, though. They're going to steal it. It's Love at the back. She beats the scrum half. Now she's taking on the wing. Anderson finally gets her down. Coco's calling for it. She wants it. She's got it. Still taking her. It takes 3 players to get her down. And they're going to keep going to the right. It's D. And then they're going to change directions, it looks like. Restrup calling for it at the pole position. Oh, just a little bit of a knock on there. Positive things happening, but just mishandles.
Yeah, they're right there. Just need to turn the key in the lock that one little bit, and then they'll be able to really put this all together and get it going. And what a change in momentum. First from just getting bullied in the scrum to now stealing one on the tight head now that we are 62 minutes into this match. Really, I think Capital's going to put it together. It may be a bit out of reach at this moment, but they're at least, I'm confident that they're going to put some points on the board here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the second half, then, you know, it was 29-0 at the half, and then they've allowed some points. They have. We can't be detrimental about that, but definitely they've slowed Midwest down. And here they go again, pushing, shoving, putting them under pressure. Going to take it out to Royce for Midwest. Loose ball again. Gibbons is having to pick it up and scramble a bit. But don't worry, it's picked up. Oh, just knocked on. What defense. That was amazing defense.
Yes, the Capital sideline just erupting as soon as they saw that ball pop free. It seemed like that was going to be the nail in the coffin, and then just immediately pushing that ball out and reviving the sidelines. And see if they can resuscitate this scrum and try to put some more pressure on the Midwest.
It's those moments that can really just flip the momentum, and that was very, like a punching it almost out. A punching motion is what it looked like.
Yeah, just solid heads-up play by that Capital defender there. Didn't quite catch the number, or else I would love to give her a shout-out and some recognition for that one.
So Capital deep in their own end. I think we've got Ruthie back for a clearing kick if they can get it out cleanly, but Love has to pick it first. Now D's back in the slot for the kick. Oh, a little dummy. Going to go the other direction. It's a 3-on-1, but not in the good way. Yep, Midwest is attempting to steal. They did. Now they've stole Gibbon. Oh, just a knock on there. So Capital will just have a repeat scrum. You guys can wait. Yeah. I felt the drum. Like hands. You have a hat on and you have like gloves on. You have to put like a thing that's not covered.
Oh no, I felt it on my face. So I put my face up. Yeah.
Seems like Capital really feeling the pressure here, knowing what they need to do, and to be able to put all these together. Again, just knocking on the door of really, it feels like a big play is just around the corner at any second once Capital has the ball in hand.
When do you collect your payment from Capital?
I am not at liberty to speak.
You're definitely a believer, Josh. I'll give you that. I like it. Going for the underdog.
Well, yesterday I commented on a blowout, and it just felt like you're just piling it on the team that's losing. Yeah. So you really try to buff out and really highlight the positives in their play.
Absolutely. It was a nice pickup off the back of the scrum by Love. Now it's out to Coco again. I feel like we just say Love and Coco's names over and over. Good kick by D. Finds a bit of patch of grass where nobody is. And then Riviera is able to hunt her down and stop the attack right away. Gibbons off the base. Back to Gibbons again. Pass behind White. Big tackle there, but it's going to be high. Oh, okay, so that wasn't the penalty, something else.
No,
it was high. Okay.
And that was a great job on the referee right there to catch that one, because it was very visible to us on this sideline. But the attacking or the defending player had her back to the referee and just able to see in the way that she was brought down that it was a high and potentially dangerous tackle. So
big booming kick to get that out, so Midwest can have a line out.
Is this part where I'm supposed to say something positive about Capital?
Yes. This is where you get your
absolutely.
payment.
Yes. Earn the money here.
I'm not going to make it to the MLR because of this. Oh, Capital up, trying to steal, but it's a throw all the way across the back. It's going to go off the base of it. Skipping Roy's out to the wing, out to Johansson. She's swallowed by Capital defenders, and now they're flooding to the right side to defend. Going to go right up the gut. It's going to maybe be held up here. Yes, it is. So goal line dropout. Good defense by Capital.
Thanks for acknowledging the positive play here by Capital. I've been seeing it all along, and yeah, that was just really great defense for them to scrape over, and they were potentially overloaded there, but able to recover, and just great defense right there. That's all there is to it.
So Ruthie with the restart, just letting her teammates get set up here a bit. She tends to kick these pretty deep. She does so again, but taken well by Johansson. She beats her first, then finally is taken down. It's a missed pass to the forward there. It was meant for Christian, but she pulled her hands in at the last second. Now we're all the way out to the other side. No defenders in front so far. They're scraping across. Riviera. Ooh. Very nice run by Riviera to score again for Midwest.
Yeah, they were just able to manipulate the defense there to create that offload and just kind of simple Rugby 101. You know, using more attackers than the defense has out there, looping in any way they can, get it out to the speedy ones out on the corner, and then let those fast people do their thing.
So as we wrap this up, we'll just do a couple thank yous. Really got some more time on the clock, of course, but just really thankful for Grand Prairie. They've been a great host to us over the last couple of years. We were able to come in from out of town as the administrators of the TRU and put on a great event, and they do all the on-the-ground work. And then also to the Texas Rugby Referee Association. Really had a great partnership with them over the last couple of years, and this year we're able to bring in all high-performance female referees, and that is the goal of our tournament, is to make sure that we're not just providing a high-performance event for players, but also referees. So if you have referees that are on the cusp of greatness, send them our way for this event. We do it every single year. Oh, off the post, that's a tough one. And like we said, we'll be back in 2023. First weekend of December, we'll be in Texas having an event. We hope you bring your high-performance team, your all-star team, to us.
Just the audible groan every time you hear that ping is one of the classics here on the rugby sideline.
Maybe 10 or 11 minutes left in this match. And we are crowning a new champion today for the Mary Graham tournament. In the past winners, when we were able to have an 8-team format, it's been the TRU in 2019. Of course, COVID ruined 2020. And then 2021, it was Pacific. So in 2022, it looks like it'll be Midwest. Green. Unless Capital can score 41 points in the next few minutes here. 46 points.
Well, starting with this knock-on from the Midwest, let's see if it happens.
It begins.
No, but in all seriousness, Capital has been putting together a strong defensive front for sure. It just seems like Midwest happens to find just the tiniest gap here and there, and they're able to put their strong support players right where they need to be. Just excellent execution on their system. It seems like a team that's been playing together for a long time. Their cohesion and their chemistry is just really on point and on display today.
Nice pickup off the back by Love. Able to gain a couple of meters. Finally brought down. She's offload, though. Stolen by Midwest, though. And then a boot over the top. So Capital scrambling here a bit. Defense all over them, but Ruthie's going to put it back on the boot. And nobody's back there for Midwest, so going to pin them back just a little bit. Some ping pong there.
Yeah, definitely a solid kick, and then excellent effort there from the Capital player as she was being tackled just to pass the ball back to the fullback with enough space and enough time to be able to get a good clearing kickoff. Really saved their bacon there towards the end.
Midwest going with that short line out again. Oh, miscue. Yeah, maybe not straight. So Capital, here's an opportunity.
Yeah, it seems like the odds keep just randomly turning in their favor, and they've just been unable to, really materialize a great attack with each of these chances they're given. I think it's just the Midwest is so aggressive and tenacious with their defense. They're poaching a lot of balls, getting a lot of penalties, holding onto the ball at the breakdown, and really just kind of imposing their will this entire game.
Yeah, I think the word of the match has got to be pressure. Midwest has applied it everywhere. A little bit of just a forward pass there, but the pressure they've had on attack, on defense, whenever they can have Capital turning and chasing, and then they have attackers, defenders right there. It's been a tough go for Capital today.
Capital came out with a couple answers at the beginning of this half. They definitely adjusted. Looked like they had a little extra depth on their attacking lines and were able to buy themselves some extra time to maybe get some more ball movement, maybe a little redirection, and some shifty footwork there. But it seems like they've abandoned that, or maybe they're just getting tired. It has been a long weekend and a long game.
Big scrum by Capital again, but they're able to pull it out of the back. Out to White. Nice slicing run
Incredible
by Royce.
tackle there.
Capitals looking to steal this, though. Penalty against Capital, though. Really good explanation by Rebecca Portlock there. So Midwest can just manage this clock a little bit here, go for this kick in the line out.
Looking at just over 6 minutes remaining in this game, and then we will be crowning Midwest as the champions of the Mary Graham All-Star Weekend.
Kick to touch doesn't quite make it, so Capital has another chance here to work this out of their own end. They're going to run it out to Love. And then all the way back into a forward pod. Coco's got her hand up. She wants it. She's called off, though. It looks like the backs have a play in mind. It's going to be D. Faking the loop. Midwest is counter-rucking, but off their feet.
It's unfortunate. Just a little bit better.
Not releasing.
Just a little bit better timing on that play, and it would have worked because they clearly sucked in two of the Midwest defenders to make that tackle. And just the Capital ball carrier unable to get that pass away in time.
Can you remind Mark to keep going so we can do this? They're going to run a play here to Coco. And then they're split. Got a set of forwards on either side. They go to the backs, and then D puts a big boot to it. It's a nice kick rolling. Riviera's having to track back pretty far. She's got some space in front of her, though. She's met at the line by Vanderplug. Penalty, though, not rolling. So Midwest will get back to managing this clock.
Definitely an excellent defensive effort there from Capital. That was just a massive tackle there, and when they absolutely needed it. You know, that was a long clearing kick, but it didn't have any chase with it from the Capital side, so really the Midwest players able to do kind of whatever they wanted to when they were attempting to return that ball. The fullback able to get a full head of steam and almost cross midfield.
About 4 minutes left in this match. Gibbons with this the put in at the scrum. Capital with another push, but Midwest able to hold him off this time. Here comes the secondary push. Still able to grab it out of the back. Gibbons, little dish and an offload to White. Just another mishandle, so this will be a scrum to Capital. Some tape? Tape.
All right, just under 3 minutes left in this match, and we're going to have another Capital put in. And see if they can mount the 46-point comeback now.
It's a nice steady scrum for Capital. They're going to pull it off the base to D. Fake. Fake to Riviera. That was very nice getting through the middle of the centers. Midwest, though, in there, making this one tough. They do get it back to Coco off the foot. Stolen by Midwest on the loose ball. It's jammed backwards. Got some numbers out here, some space. Anderson's going to put a little foot to it. It's a foot race now. Ruthie's in front. She decides to kick it again. Who touched that down first? We'll have a check here. I'm going to check the instant replay on the delay.
Oh, yeah. Take a look. Our rudimentary TMO here.
Yeah, it was a really nice kick by Anderson. And Ruthie playing a little bit of football skills here. Just thought maybe kick it out the back. It's a short ball. Ooh, I think Riviera may get it. It's just if she touches it down without a knock-on.
I don't know, the angle over here from the commentary booth was pretty bad. It honestly looked like a little bit of playing the player as opposed to playing the ball.
Oh, right. You're going for Capital. I forgot. We'll see what the referees come up with here. Ross Davies had a critical foul play call earlier where he recommended a yellow card, rightly so. And so now he's helping out Becca again. It's wonderful to have strong ARs supporting you. Just waiting for the explanation. So it's going to be a scrum. So a knock-on by Midwest, I'm guessing.
I don't know. She's holding her arm out to Midwest, so.
In the world of outcomes, I'm not sure how I can work that one out from what we could see. We're going to go with it, though. It's a scrum to Midwest.
Is the Midwest put in because Capital downed it after kicking it into their own?
So Ruthie got it first. You're right. It could be that. Yeah, attacking scrum. Yes. Great job, Josh.
Hey, I'm good for something and not just biased commentary.
Capital with a big shove, stealing this one. I've been retired for a long time. Big kick over the top. Wing was up, but she's able to track back, and it's Gibbons actually on the pickup. And then since coming on, this is Grace Hode. She's just been a wrecking ball. Maybe a little dribble there, but we're going to, nope, yep, knock on. So capital scrum. Looks like we're going to play it. It should be very close to last play. Stick with us because we're going to do a trophy presentation and medals for the first time in the Mary Graham All-Stars to the Midwest Green team, our newest champion.
Really, if you were just to watch the second half of this match, though, and not the first, it seems like it was much more competitive than the score shows. All kudos to Pacific for fighting the entire 80 minutes. Capital.
Now you're not getting paid.
Now, yeah, that's fine. It was worth it.
It is tough, and when you commentate on 8 different teams all weekend, I mean, it is. I'll admit it. It's a tough gig. It's fun, but your brain starts to melt after a while.
Yeah, I start to call Midwest and Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, all the green teams.
Yeah, all the West.
Yeah. Struck, but came back up again. Had to strike it again, the hooker. And then it's out to D. It's a skip attempt, but just another knock on there. We'll see if we'll play this scrum. We will not. Full time. Congratulations to Midwest Green for winning the 2022 Mary Graham All-Stars Tournament. What a performance they had over the weekend.
Yes, and kudos to all the teams that competed. It was really it was a great tournament. It was a lot of great rugby that we got to watch out here. Certainly some budding young players that we hope to have returning in the future and see how they progress. And again, welcome the South Panthers to the Tier 1 side. Look forward to seeing them play next year.
So stick with us. We're going to go off the mic for a minute, but stick with us and we'll have the teams come over and we'll do that presentation in just a bit.
I was phrasing the question wrong because I wasn't sure if I saw the reading. And that's what I was trying to ask you.
Really excited to present Midwest Green, their captain Anderson with the 2022 Mary Graham Trophy, and then we'll be doing awards also. Congratulations. Thank you.
I was like, no TSA, I'm not taking this off. You can talk about this. I did. That was all 6 rugby. All 6 and you guys were good. Okay, I was like, what do you think? Al better buy me. And when I look over, I'm like, where's Al Lucas?
He got an Uber. His flight was early.
He's supposed to buy me booze.
When's your flight? I'll buy you booze, Monica.
Hey! What a gang. Hey! Bring it in, bring it in.
Slow
Slow down, slow down. Hey, y'all, we're number 1!